This is a perfect demonstration of a crash out, a narcissistic crash out. This isn't even about me. Why the does he just like randomly bring me up? Look, this is Free Palestine has shown up at my house and parked in my driveway. I'm not exaggerating when I say I worry about these people killing me all the time. I have multiple people with full psychosis that email me obsessively. Free Palestine has shown up at my house, parked in my driveway, and emailed me pictures of my front door telling me they were going to come in and kill me. It also feels as though there are so many people that are simply narcissistic and just trying to make this issue all about themselves, like they are the biggest victims. Something that I brought up, aside from Brianna Wu, which is really funny because like she's not Jewish. She didn't know anything about Israel until October 7, and even then she knows less since October 7. And yet she has become this Hasbara operative. Literally went to Israel. And is basically making this entire thing about herself, where she's like, oh, I'm victim to anti-Semitic attacks as well. Like people are coming after me because they know that I'm like a prominent pro-Israel person. It's like, what are you saying, dude? Shut up. Anyway, but there's another example of this as well, and I tweeted about this yesterday. This account says, I wonder if there's a mental illness, term for a mental illness that makes one compelled to center themselves in any and all events. As you watch Hassan fans and Twitter leftists celebrate the murder of 2 innocent Israelis, okay, didn't happen, understand that me and Gila are just as valid targets to them. I don't think so. That's ridiculous. I've known this as people like Hassan and iDubbbz lecture me about hallucinating threats. I knew this the moment I ended Leftovers. Why would I want to be a member of a community that would literally cheer on my death? There is a toxic, violent, nihilistic extremism brewing on the left, and it should scare all of us. Okay? No, this is a hallucination. I will say it once again. If I don't think it's appropriate for someone to call CPS on Ethan Klein, why the f would I ever think it's appropriate for someone to Ethan Klein? Are you stupid? Of course, that is insane. That is psychotic. That is a psychotic assessment. Okay? No one. Anyway, to which I said, 2 Israeli embassy officials get killed, and Ethan Klein predictably moves to make the moment about himself from the comfort of his mansion as the criminal state his community keeps defending continues with his unlimited child murder. And then he responded to that by cutting off his own silly statement this time and just simply showing mine. Imagine saying this to any other minority group in the wake of a violent tragedy. To which I said, Lemau, still going on, by the way. You are an immensely privileged, wealthy YouTuber who's using the backdrop of a live stream child holocaust to try and make drama slop as you call for deplatforming of pro-Palestinian voices. Have some dignity. You are not a victim, just a narcissist. That's it. It's like that age-old conservative meme of the conservative lady from the UK being like, this is what it feels like to be a white woman in the UK, a conservative white woman, and it's a target on her forehead. And someone responds, yeah, this is a perfect analogy because no one's coming after you and you place the target on your forehead. Yeah, Katie Hopkins. Yeah. And what you need to understand, is this, okay? Yeah, this is how it feels to be a white conservative woman. Perfect analogy because that's not a real target and you've put it there yourself. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because I need you to understand something. Israel is a right-wing institution, okay? It is a fascist. It's the most right-wing you can get, but it's a fascist, right-wing, reactionary country. And my job as someone who tries to get Americans to understand certain concepts will always utilize the existing contextualization tools that you have in front of you. That's why I always talk about how this is exactly what Israel defenders do, okay? This is exactly what Ethan Klein is doing. That's it. The only difference here, however, is that anti-Semitism is a real point of marginalization, and yet people who are pro-Israel bastardize that concept and weaponize that concept to make it seem like people are against them simply on the virtue of them being Jewish, when there are more Christian Zionists in this country than there are Jews across the board, Zionist and anti-Zionist alike. But it is the exact same thing. It is a permanent spiral of self-victimization when you are defending one of the most powerful nations in the region with nuclear arms doing a genocide on a captive population that it has occupied illegally for 77 years. And it's backed by, this country, Israel, is backed by the most powerful nation on earth that is offering it unlimited arms. And you want to present yourself as the victim living in that most powerful nation on the planet for not being able to describe your pro-Israel position without scrutiny. The amount of privilege here is unfathomable. The amount of privilege here is unfathomable in comparison to like the average black or brown or even white anti-Zionist, even Jewish anti-Zionist. I'm not even going to make this comparison to the average Palestinian, okay? Because that is disgusting to even mention in the same category. There is no comparison whatsoever in comparison to obviously the average Palestinian and what they're going through. But even in terms of like how you claim to be consistently victimized here, like there are people in the United States of America who are anti-Zionist that are literally getting blackbagged by this administration, and you still run around as a wealthy YouTuber who just wants to make drama content off of all of this stuff. And you can't deal with the heat, but you cannot get out of the kitchen. Must be hard, Hasan, being on everyone's bad side. Are you talking about me, or are you talking about Ethan here, or any number of different stupid slop tubers? I might be on the bad side of your favorite content creators, but that's more so just telling on yourself. Like, there are plenty of people out there who are still very much pro-Israel, okay, due to the endless amount of social conditioning that they have experienced, taken for granted, believed to be true, okay? Having said that, at least a lot of those people have the dignity to shut the up, you know? There are plenty of people who are right now shutting up. And the reason for why they're shutting the up is because even they understand it's perhaps not the best look to self-victimize when everyone can see how devastating the situation is. And then there are those who have completely lost the plot. And yes, I mean, this is a perfect 2-minute video of the insanity, especially as it pertains to, like, this is a clip that I saw that I could not believe, okay? This is a perfect demonstration of what the real resentment is. Ethan Klein's resentment towards me is not about Israel. He's trying to use the wrong side of this Israel-Palestine situation as a way to get additional help from other groups. But the real reason for why this resentment exists is just purely personal. I think under different circumstances, he's been able to humiliate people, bully people into submission, deplatform people aggressively. But it's not happening for him this time. And he literally cannot contend with that reality. He just can't figure out why it's not happening. And there is, this in and of itself is a perfect demonstration of that.
I found a really funny meme while being in the bathroom just now. And it's some sort of like hater pipeline, I think, but it must have made it to Instagram, like normie Instagram, and I found it so funny.
Someone said,
"Hey, love, I saw this like a week ago, and I died."
Yeah, this is probably the funniest meme I've ever seen.
I didn't want to share it for
It went mainstream for real.
This?
Yeah.
Where?
I just thought it was so goofy.
It was on Twitter, it was on Instagram, meme pages were reposting it.
Someone said he looks
Really?
like he's hiding the zombie bite from the group.
That's true. I see it.
You're like concerned.
I don't know why my face looks so like this. I think someone must have edited
Yeah,
this.
I'm sure,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it
just
No,
fully...
bro, stop.
No,
Look at
the
it.
saturation
There's like
is
weird
turned up.
age and saturation stuff.
I don't think it's aged. I think it's just slightly saturized.
No, that ain't normal. Somebody definitely.
I don't know, man.
No, it's only saturation or...
You know what? I'm gonna say. You guys are like, oh, Ethan needs to disclose that the feed. let's defend Hassan at every corner in every possible way.
Oh, shut
His
up.
feet are not that big. The minute
This is a perfect demonstration of a crash out, a narcissistic crash out, where this isn't even about me. Why does he just like randomly bring me up? He's like, oh, you guys love Hassan. You always defend Hassan when I'm actually editing stuff about Hassan to make fun of his like feet or whatever, which I think is very strange. But you know, go off, King, I guess. And then he just like uses me as a cudgel here. I am the permanent enemy in his mind. And even Dan is like, dude, Dan literally says right there, dude, shut up. Like, what the
Ethan needs to disclose that the feet. Let's defend Hassan at every corner in every possible way.
Oh, shut
His
up.
feet are not
He literally says, oh, shut up.
that big. The minute that this meme, everybody's laughing about how terrible I look. It's like, oh,
It's not about terrible.
No, it's your
not about you
concerned
looking
look.
terrible. It's the look on your face.
That is not original, bro. You can tell on the edges. It's It's not.
What?
It's not.
Okay. I don't
It's
think
edited,
that's
bro.
okay.
Maybe.
You know,
That's okay.
let's just.
Like, Olivia is like babying him like he's a baby. Like he's a baby who is crying because he spilled his juice. She's like, it's okay. It's a meme. It's okay. Come on, big guy. You are so handsome. Like, what are you doing? What is happening here? This is one of the most insane things I ever saw, dude. What? Go back earlier. He was saying your name under his breath as others were talking like he was possessed. I mean, one of the funniest aspects of this is that, like, this moment, he looks exactly like the clip. Like, why is he so pissed off?
Doing is proving the point that you would hide the bite from us. So
Yeah, I don't think it's that change.
Also, you do look great. Like, you have a funny
Yeah, you don't
face.
look like
that
that.
I don't think you look
that's
weird
what
at
I
all.
wanna
You
hear.
look beautiful,
No.
gorgeous.
Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. You look beautiful. You look gorgeous. You're such a big, handsome boy. Who's my big, handsome, strong boy?
Even.
Yeah, it doesn't-
I don't
you have
know.
nothing to say
You
about
look
this.
gorge.
I don't want to hear it.
I want the
It also, all of this is like, all this started because like someone made a funny meme. It's like when those guys, there's this one guy who actually unironically is a very talented artist. And he always draws me with a tiny head. And I don't give a shit, you know what I mean? I think it's funny. And he's actually a pretty good artist overall. Like you'll see screenshots of it in my replies from psychos all the time. Like I make jokes about this stuff myself. Like it's obviously a emote in my community since the beginning of my, no, it's not scum art. No. I'm not talking about that. No. There's a hater who like will try to, I don't know if anyone's found the, I don't know if anyone has seen them before. He's like, it's a new guy. Is this the
Where
one?
people
Oh yeah,
basically
this
wear
is the
their
guy. This is the
bigotry
guy.
and
This is the
their
guy.
stupidity as a badge
I don't
of-
want to like highlight them too much because I don't know what their like politics are. They probably have like horrible politics in general. But yeah, I mean, this guy's like clearly a talented artist. You know what I mean? He is. I saw this and I was like, damn, this guy's actually not a bad artist at all. But yeah, you should be able to laugh at yourself. And yeah, I have a tiny head, you know? You got it. You got me.
I don't
truth
think
just
it's
like
edited.
you.
So is this like is this like a snark thing or is this?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's just a funny.
I've
looks
never
like
seen
a-
this account ever in my life. I could have cropped the name out,
No,
but it just came up natural on my Instagram. I've never seen a non-H3 like
I have.
from us on Instagram ever.
Ah.
And there it is.
That's
There it is.
me,
Clipped admitting your head is tiny. God damn it. God damn it. So the reason why I brought that little tangent is obviously because there are a lot of egos involved here in this conversation. But Hasanabi Productions actually did this fantastic thing. Where he compiled exactly how to properly resist Israel's genocide, according to Asmongold and Ethan Klein. Now, the reason why I think it's important is because in this day and age, there are many different ways of saying that you're against genocide. But obviously, aside from the everyday existence, the everyday murder of children done by an unaccountable criminal entity such as Israel, in cooperation, in direct cooperation with the most powerful, most unaccountable entity on the planet, the United States of America, a criminal enterprise through and through. Aside from that, there's another thing that we have to pay attention to, which is how to protest. Because obviously, if you think you are protesting against Israel and you're doing it right, you're most likely not doing it right. So let's take a look at how to do this, okay? Let's take a look at how to do this, because there's got to be a way to do it appropriately. Firstly, stop protesting in the streets. Blocking the roads is an inconvenience for Asmongold, and he doesn't want to be bothered. Okay.
I don't really give a f about what Palestine's problems are or Israel's problems are, but if somebody is blocking the road, I do care. And I will tell you also that if they are blocking the road and I'm trying to get through the road, I will reflexively be against them. Like, what are you for? Okay, let's vote against.
Okay. Well, good thing you don't even have to vote for it. That's just like a permanent state of affairs in America. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Secondly, if you're Jewish and you peacefully protest Israel's genocide, Ethan will call you a token Jew who does not represent the Jewish majority. Well, that's okay. Hold on. That's weird.
I am so proud to be marching with so many Jews.
Yes, the Jews. The Jews are here. Did we mention that? Give the Jewish guy the mic.
Gentiles of all ages.
Yes. And of course there are Jews there, right? And Jews have are allowed to have different perspectives and stuff, but this man is like the embodiment of a Jewish token. Like, holy. So let's say 10,000 Jews are members of Jewish Voices for Peace, and they tour all around the country, showing up at every like pro-Palestinian protest or whatever the they're doing, and they just they parade them around like here's one of the good Jews. It's 10,000 people of 6 million in America, and part of the disgusting propaganda that they do is that they pretend, they try to convince everybody that this is this represents the Jewish majority.
It will never not be interesting to me that as a Jewish man, Ethan Klein is saying, no, actually, the prominent Jewish activists that are against Israel are actually in the wrong. They do not represent the majority of Jewish opinion. The majority of Jews actually love what Israel is doing. That seems insane. It would be like if I were to, in the wave of Islamophobic sentiment rising during like the peak of ISIS activity in the region, if I were to be like, guys, do not listen to any Muslim that tells you that ISIS doesn't represent their faith. You are Islamophobic if you don't defend ISIS. I, as a Muslim man, am telling you the overwhelming majority of Muslims love what ISIS is doing, and you have to love it too. Otherwise, you are an Islamophobic person. That's what this is. That is the literal equivalent. He's like, if I were to go after someone who is who's saying that like ISIS has nothing to do with Islam, a Muslim that's saying that and being like, that's a token. He's a liar. Very strange, especially strange because he's pro-Palestine. But that's interesting. All right,
but it's not. Anyway,
it's
whatever.
Does not represent it.
Thirdly, stop protesting on college campuses. It makes Asmongold feel uncomfortable. He also thinks you should be arrested and or deported if you participate.
Again? Oh no! Breaking Columbia protesters are once again occupying the Butler Library while chanting from the river to Jesus Christ. Can we just please send in the National Guard and arrest these people? Like, what are we doing? What are they doing? Every single person that did this, I think they should figure out if they were a student. And if they were a student, I think they should get expelled. And if they weren't a student, I think they should get charged for trespassing. That's what you do it. And yeah, exactly. And if they weren't a citizen, I think they should get deported.
Common sense. I think it should be state 2.0. Those guys were clearly in the wrong. I loved what the National Guard did at state. Based.
My point is when
don't use emancipatory slogans like from the river to the sea when protesting. It makes Ethan feel uncomfortable. Obviously, Ethan's personal feelings are infinitely more important than, I don't know, people saying like free Palestine, or from the river to the sea, Palestine would be free. Obviously, we have to factor in his personal opinions on this. Duh.
My point is when Israelis hear from the ocean to the sea, they hear
from the ocean to the sea.
All of Israel.
I don't understand. If a movement is for peace between two people, and one people is telling you they're not comfortable with the statement, shouldn't we change the statement to something that both...
Yeah, all lives matter. Like, Black Lives Matter makes me uncomfortable. I'm a white conservative man, and I think when someone says Black Lives Matter, I instantly assume you want to kill all white people. Therefore, you have to say all lives matter. Actually, you should say white lives matter. Why are Black Lives Matter protesters not saying white lives matter? Anyway, don't bother donating to pro-Palestinian charities. According to Ethan, it's not real activism and has no real impact.
Creators for Palestine raised $1.6 million. That's fantastic. Literally negligible. They've received billions of dollars. It's a good thing. Has $1.6 million had an outcome on anything happening in Gaza? Absolutely not.
Of course, if you donate to one of these fundraisers, even after you spend the rest of the year trying to deplatform the people that have done these fundraisers, then you're a stalwart ally of the Palestinians, of course. Remember, you're pro-Palestine because you donated to one of these charities, and then you wanted to take it down, but yeah.
Like, raise money. That's good. That's the easiest thing you can do is just give money, right? Good. Let's talk about real activism. Let's talk about enacting meaningful change. Total failures.
Yeah, okay. Do not support any military resistance to Israel's genocide. Asmongold and Ethan will just call you a terrorist supporter. Oh, no. Okay, so even if can we at least contextualize? Can we at least contextualize like why these militancies form in the region?
Some fresh criticism for Hassan, who is an outright supporter of terrorism. Quite literally. He is a champion for terrorism and a supporter of terrorism. And if you don't believe me, watch the video. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say about that.
When you say that you support the actions of a terrorist organization and you interview them on your stream and then you play their propaganda, you end up getting detained for extra questioning, re-entering the country.
Nice!
And I think that Hassan and everybody else, including myself, let's all sit together and say a collective thank you to the government for keeping us safe.
Shut the fuck up, you cockroach. Oh my God. What a disgusting little creature this is, okay? What a disgusting little creature. Thank you for defending our nation state to the Trump administration for detaining a Twitch streamer. Like, Asmongold is such a liar on this issue, okay? He knows that I am not a dangerous entity. He has to present it as such because he has to like consistently up the ante. Okay? He has to consistently up the ante because he is captured by the interests of the broad right-wing movement that is formed in his chat as he consistently farms right-wing dumbasses. Okay? That's it. Would you debate him? Yes, but he runs away from that sort of thing because he knows he would be humiliated because all he can do is just like chirp from his hug box, and that's it. And it is what it is. Okay, so it seems like Israel killed another 50 people today in the residential building. Another 29 died to starvation. Will Ethan Asmongold or any other drama-adjacent content creator talk about it? Of course not. It's not more important than trying to get Hassan or other pro-Palestinian content creators banned. One more, I almost forgot. Do not be a Muslim while living in Gaza. It's hard for Asmongold to feel sympathy for you if you're being genocided. I don't give a f***. They're terrible people. They come from an inferior culture. Okay, this is the last one. So obviously, if you are existing as a Palestinian in the Gaza Strip, then yeah, you can't do that either. Why would he debate you? You're sitting in LA talking about wars 100,000 miles away. Shut up. Great question. He's in proximity to the Gaza Strip. His proximity to the Gaza Strip is like negligible in comparison to mine. I am more knowledgeable than he is, though, especially considering that I do talk to people that are in the Gaza Strip and have interviewed people that have escaped the Gaza Strip and have read plenty of books on the issue that pertains to the Palestinian plight over the course of the past 77 years of occupation. If you are talking about this sort of thing, then, you know, if you have these firmly held convictions about what must be done to the Palestinians, then perhaps, you know, it would be okay to have this back and forth with the person that you are consistently calling a terrorism supporter that needs to be platformed and that the government is doing a good job detaining? Don't you think that would be fair? Of course, you don't think about anything, and you certainly don't think about this either. It's not the proximity to what's going on is not the problem for you. The problem for you is what I'm saying. And because you can't actually argue against what I'm saying, you have to find something else to cling on to. I think if we're looking at two individuals who are engaging in political commentary, and one party is just not even knowledgeable at all about it, and the other party is at the very least knowledgeable and making an effort to understand the plight of the Palestinians, the people that are being genocided, I think you're a responsible enough adult to make up your own mind on who has more knowledge on the situation.
If you want to,
who would be more impactful to talk to about this kind of stuff?
If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't get it. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing. And how much did they kill? As many as they can. They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if they did, they'd be doing the same thing.
You also can't use terms created by the genocidal state itself. Oh yeah, you can't say Hasbara. You will read people saying I'm doing Hasbara, which means propaganda in Hebrew. What they really mean when they say Hasbara is Jewish propaganda, because they just saying propaganda isn't good enough to describe what the Jews do. That's why they use the Hebrew word for it. Yeah. Which, by the way, ironically, is the word that Israel uses in its attempts to convince others in the Western world. This is why people say Hasbara. Hasbara is not Jewish propaganda. Hasbara is Israeli propaganda. Hasbara is propaganda at the behest of Israel. They have entire departments dedicated to this. They spend a ton of money on this, actually, openly. Like the Knesset openly states that there are Hasbara initiatives that they are spending additional funds on. There's a special word for Chinese, Russian, or North Korean propaganda, or is it Jewish propaganda? It's so sneaky and insidious that it must be specifically, specially qualified. This dude was talking about noticing, which is a dog whistle.
I don't.
Anyway, that's that's just him trying to show his chat that he is based, while simultaneously showing his chat that he is still pro-Israel. But he's still based, though. Don't worry, chat. He's still based.
That's it. Just takes enough. That's right. These people.
He's pro-Israel, but in a based way.
Are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple. No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't support them.
So yeah. Why did we do this? Well, we did this to figure out if there's any correct way to protest against Israel that is currently doing a genocide, that is an apartheid state. And the answer is, if you listen to Asmongold and Ethan Klein, then no, there isn't. Here's also another group that has protested against Israel, but in a way that people don't like. It's the Irish band Kneecap. The walls are closing in. You're done. No need to ban if you see this. I already unfollowed. I'm the sick piece human for showing you the depravity of what Israel is doing. If you look at the situation that's right in front of you with your own eyes and hear with your own ears, and you go, the guy who's against what this is actually the depraved person, you might be the depraved person, the metrics of depravity that normal people look at. If you're confused, as Asmongold was when I first described to him the situation, because he claimed to be free speech back then, where I told him about how, like, in 36 states in the United States of America, it is literally illegal to protest against Israel. He was shocked when he found out about this. Like, that kind of stuff happens in broad daylight. It's not like hidden. This kind of stuff is also in broad daylight. It's not hidden. Hasan discovers lobbying. Oh, dude, that's really interesting. Yeah, I know it's called lobbying, except there is no other comparison. No other country gets to do this. I don't know if you know that, because if other countries were trying to do this, they would get shut out. One, they would have to register as a foreign agent, first and foremost. Israel doesn't, because they use American Jewish allies and American Christian allies like Kufi, for example, Christian Zionists, to basically claim that this is actually just like homegrown lobbying. It has nothing to do with the foreign nation. I'm not discovering lobbying, but there is no equivalent. There is no equivalent on the planet in the United States of America where a foreign country can say protesting us is illegal, and then 36 states write legislation and pass legislation to make it illegal, where you have to sign a loyalty pledge to Israel to become a public school teacher. You have to do that in the state of Texas. You think that's normal? That's not normal lobbying at all. Can you imagine this for any other country? Like, imagine criticizing Estonia is illegal if you ever want to be a public school teacher in the state of Texas. Everyone would laugh at that. Criticizing Saudi Arabia is illegal if you want to be a teacher in the state of Texas. It's not even illegal to protest America in the United States of America, but it's illegal to protest Israel in the United States of America. How is that even allowed? How is that even possible?